Hi everybody, welcome back to episode 45 of the channel that is dedicated to the construction and development of the Lake Erie North Shore Railroad. And again, welcome. We're going to build a little project today in this episode, just a little sanding tower. It's a kind of tricky little project. We've got some little small pieces to work with. We show you a different approach to the painting, and we just go over the thought process. It's like I said, it's a short video compared to what we're used to, but sometimes good things come in small packages. I'm really glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're enjoying the channel. We're growing rapidly, and to keep that going, I would love it if you guys would keep hitting the old subscribe button and the like button, and making sure that we can grow together in this interesting model railroading project that we're involved in. So without further ado, I would like to unload some railroad soul. Across the prairies to the sea, they lay the iron for the rails and we ride. They shared their lives, their hearts and their pride. They have railway soul. Hello, and welcome. We're going to go through this, building this sanding tower. And this sanding tower it seems like a pretty simple project, but having looked at it a little bit, there is some complicated things in there, and maybe a different approach to some of the things we want to do. Again, this is a Walters cornerstone kit. And so the very first thing that you want to do is read your instructions. A lot of information in these, and then look at get an idea for how you're going to put things together, how it's going to look at the end. Now what I want to do this time, which is something that is a little different than other times, is I'm going to actually build some of these components before I paint them. Normally what I would do is have all the components individually put aside and separated, and then I would paint them. But now I think I'm going to build this tubular structure, okay, which would be on the picture, it would be this thing here. I'm going to build that first, then paint it. Then I'm going to think about what color I want all the ladders and the gates and things like that are on there. I'm thinking I might even color this this tubular structure something more brilliant or vibrant, maybe a red or a yellow, something like that. Then I'm thinking about, do I keep these stainless steel, or do I do them a different color like red or blue? And then of course the piping, the tubes, I want to try and get those black if I can. So we're gonna, some of the stuff that's different from this model already, when first looking at it, is we're going to do some assembly first. So we got to figure out what all is involved in that assembly, put it together, paint it, pull out the hoses, paint those, and pull out the ladders and safety decking, safety structures, and decide what color to paint those. So already we've had a bit of a thought process. We're going to just have a look here at what's inside now. This is what we're up against. So what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll take out some of the components that are going to compose the long tubular structure, any sort of grading components that are necessary, and then I'll put those together, and then I'll paint them. And we're just going to use the same painting procedures that we've used in past videos, which is just to usually take them outside using some kind of spray paint. Usually the Rust-Oleum paints are very good for this kind of material. So I'll get busy, and don't forget, all of these have to be filed. So when we disconnect these from here, let me just give you an example. And when I'm taking these things off, I usually just use a pair of little cutters, and I aim the cutters flat part down. Let's get this on the screen so you can see. Flat part down. I'm just trying to do this with one hand, so there we go. And then you'll see all the areas these have to be filed off. I just use this little diamond file, 200 millimeter. You just file these off. Now you don't want to go too crazy, or you'll put a dent, like a groove or something, in your actual model piece. But you just want enough filed off so that when you put these together, it doesn't look like you haven't filed them and they've just been cut off a model piece. Now, I know maybe 4 or 5 different techniques for doing this. Some people use sandpaper. Some people use a fine knife, a scalpel. But I find that just, filing these comes out really good. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. And I'll go ahead and do the rest of the pieces, and then we'll come back and put them together, and then I'll paint them and come back and see what they look like. I have to decide now what color. This is exciting. I think I might go with a yellow. Okay, or yellow or orange. I haven't decided yet. Okay, so I decided to go with a yellowish kind of color for the actual tank and the little platforms that the hoses go into. And then I've gone with a galvanized sort of stainless steel for the walkways and ladders. And then here I've got the hoses painted black. Okay, so we're just going to let those dry, and then I'll come back and put it together and we'll see how it looks. Stay with me. All right, here it is. I've got it put together and it looks pretty good. I'm going to give you some zoom in a minute. Now it's still very wet because I've just put this last little bits and pieces on. So I'm just going to give a bit of a zoom in so you can see how it looks. I don't mind the yellow, and I think the stainless came up pretty good. Now there's a few spots I've got to touch up, sort of here, I'll touch that up once it dries. Over here, touch that up once it dries. There's a little bit in here and here that I'll touch up. Otherwise, looks pretty good. As soon as it dries, we'll take it over and we'll put it on the layout, see if it fits. All right, stay with us. Okay, got it set on the layout, and I've literally just set it there. I'm gonna have to sort of permanently fasten it down, but it does look pretty darn good. Bring that in for you. And those engines just fit in there. Right over here. Okay, so it looks very nice. Let's just move back a bit. And like I said, I just set it in there just to see how it would look. I may shift it to the other tracks, or I may move it further back or further forward, depending on what types of engines we're going to try and get in there. But at the end of the day, I think that has come out very nice. It's always nice to see it on the layout too, you know. Excellent, there we are. And we're going to keep working in this area, getting this detailed up a bit. I'm going to also do some weathering on the turntable. So that'll be a separate video. But hey, I think this for a little project turns out pretty good. And when we detail this whole area, we'll come back and you know, cover the bases in with some gravel, and we put some foliage and stuff in there. Excellent. Well, look, I hope you enjoyed this. This was a fun model to do, and it was a fast one, but sometimes that's good. All right, see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video, because when we are making content and deciding what to do, the number of likes we get helps us decide what areas we want to go to next. Okay, thank you.